Alright, this is how to remove the gas tank on a Miller Bobcat 225G. So, the most important thing is you want to have a cherry picker or a engine hoist, whatever you want to call it. This will really help out because you got to lift this whole motor and this rotor assembly up, and you're going to have probably maybe a 6 or 7 inch gap at least. But you're going to lift this whole thing up right here, alright? And you can pull the gas tank out that way. That's really the only way to do it. So what you do first is you take off these two side panels and that top panel right there that covers the exhaust. And what I like to do next is I take the point right there that you can attach it to like a crane or whatever, or an engine hoist to move it up and down into truck beds and all that. Right here there's two 13mm bolts on both sides, and then on this little shroud right here, you'll see it, there's a 3/8 bolt right there. Just take that out. I don't know if you can see it too well, but no, you can. Right there is a 14mm bolt and a 14mm nut on the bottom, and there's a little access hole right there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can go at it from this side right here, which is what I do, or you can come in it right there. But I put a ratchet wrench right up under here, and then I take a socket, a 14mm socket, and I put it right over in there. And you just work it back and forth till you get that out. Then I like to move over to the motor mounts right there. You can see where that wire is attached to. That's your ground wire for your battery. And then there's one directly on the other side right there. Let's see if I can't get up. Yeah, right there. These two up here, there's one on all four corners of the oil pan. So this one right here is attached to nothing, and the one on the other side isn't. But directly on the back where the battery would be sitting, there's one right there, and then there's one over here. Once you get those out, you can start to lift it up. But I like to, there's a 3/8 bolt right there. I take this one out, and on the other side I just loosen it up a little bit. That's so I can lift this shroud up and I can get this out of the way from its little cutout. So the points for the owning, you have a lift point right here and a lift point on this other side right here. So you lift that up, and be careful and take your time, because this part right here will come out of this shroud. There's two different shrouds. This one right here is where that anchor point is. I unbolt that from this, just leave it alone. This right here, this is going to stay in one piece. This is just going to slide out from in there. You may have to pull your choke out, depending, but you have to take it from that carb right there. There's just a little 15/16 bolt right here, and you can also get at it with a screwdriver because it's got one of those slots. You can move this out of the way. I just chose to not to. You also have ground wires right here that go to a 3/8 bolt as well. And you may or may not have to unplug this right here, alright? It just depends on if somebody serviced it already or shortened it up. But for the most part, it should be fine. But just pay attention, make sure that your wires are not binding on anything, and you should be good. Thank you.